Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of HTHT, where the talk is cheap. Where the talk is deep, but the set is cheap. Let's do that again.
The sex is cheap. Whose sex is cheap?
No, the set.
If someone, John.
No.
You want to confess something now?
Sorry.
Okay.
Today we're cancelling me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of HTHT, where the talk is deep, but the set is cheap. Today we have a very special guest with us. We have Kheng. Ben doesn't need any introduction. He wears many hats in the social media world, from being in the Sam Willows
Yeah.
to doing comedy on the Benzi Project.
Yeah.
And now I would say on TikTok, fucking TikTok. This man does it
TikTok.
all. And he also recently released an EP called The Sea That Never Stops.
I see.
And what goes on behind the scenes, let's find out. Welcome to the show, Ben. Do you like to HTHT?
I like to HTHT. What is HTHT? I mean, heart-to-heart talk. Does it stand for what? No, it's just heart-to-heart talk.
It could be what.
It
If
could
you
be.
all like, share, and subscribe. So for Ben.
What?
Don't do it for me. Do it for Ben.
No, do it for yourselves and good content.
Okay.
Before we start wearing bras and... Okay.
And Lululemons.
Yeah. My athleisure. That's right. A lot of you have been asking about my skincare routine. No.
Okay, Ben, why don't you
Yo.
give us a short introduction of yourself real quick?
Whatever you said was false. It's a false narrative. It's not my lived experience. I just make memes for a living. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, actually, that's my dream job. I
Make memes for a living.
just want to make memes for a living. If my life could be a meme, that would be the goal. It kind of is if you think about it.
I mean, you do have many memeable moments being someone that's like
Yeah,
out there.
I think that's the motto of my life: is to create as many memeable moments in my life.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Why do you think I'm getting married? It's just a meme.
It's
I
just
don't-
a meme.
I don't care about love. I'm here to create content.
This man's going back to get caning tonight. Okay, anyway, Ben says that he's very bad with alcohol, and he showed it when he fell asleep on the YouTube video for the Sam Willows. So what's gonna happen is obviously
no.
we have 2 glasses of delicious beverage.
Like I told you, just by looking at that, I'm inebriated. Already.
So would you like the red cup or the blue cup?
Oh, is this a matrix question?
Yeah.
Is it a cup preference? I'm cup fluid, if you ask me. I'm on the spectrum.
Okay, you choose the cup that you like. I'll just choose the flavor.
It's nearer to me, so I'm just gonna. Yeah.
No, the cup.
Oh, the cup.
Okay, I'm glad you chose grapefruit because
I'll choose the red cup because I don't like Chelsea. So like yeah.
And also red is quite hot. So what?
What? Is
I'm
this
gonna shoot
gonna
this at Lester.
By the way, I can't tell if you like cameras or not, Alistair. You might like it. I'm not sure.
Here
It's
you
a possibility. Kamsia Singkang.
Hey, come here, Hamita.
Kamsia very much.
All right. Cheers to a good episode.
This is just water or hand sanitizer. Oh, it's good.
Not bad, right?
I'm gonna say lots of shit tonight.
Very good, very good.
no.
Okay, so throughout the show, we'll be a little bit degen, but yeah, join us on this degen journey with Ben Kheng, man. Let's move into section 1, shall we?
Section 1.
Section 1.
That's right.
All right, so Alistair, our producer and founder of this channel, who is Stalker King, right?
And owner of this couch, which I am sitting on
Then, yes,
currently.
sometimes used for casting. But
Yay! Sanitize!
okay, so the first question is about sports school, right? So Ben was in sports school and was in the national youth swimming team. Wow.
What a life.
Yeah, the question is, okay, what have you learned from your time doing sports, and does it still translate well to what you do in the arts world?
I learned that I wasted 12 years of my life. No, I didn't. I learned a lot, to be honest. I think life in the sports school, life as a national youth athlete,
As an athlete, right.
was very, very different. You be doing things like you wake up at 5 a.m.
Right.
You train 2.5 hours in the morning. I'm talking like from a sports school experience.
This is not NS, right? This is sports school, right?
No, but very comparable.
Oh.
Because but except we have siestas, we have afternoon naps, mandatory
Oh.
afternoon naps. Yeah,
It's just for your bodies to recover and stuff.
because
like
we
that.
need the recovery. So it's like morning training, school, afternoon nap, afternoon training, and then you've got a bit of prep time. But I think what got me most was like, you're doing like at least 6 hours a day in the pool, right? Like every single day of the year.
Right.
You're training, you're clocking in literally your 10,000 hours. And athletes do this for like one single moment in a year. Like, for, let's say Joseph Schooling, whose penultimate race is like the 100 fly in the Olympics. So that's 1 minute in 4 years. Can you imagine like prepping for just a minute in 4 years?
Yes.
Whereas here we are with minimal prep, doing covers online or like talking shit. It goes on YouTube and it stays there forever. So I guess that dichotomy to me was crazy. So I think what that taught me was like prep. Prep is really important, and sticking to a schedule, that was really important.
So that has helped you in your career in the arts, I would say.
Helped me in that, in relationships, everything. I mean, it's just good principle to live by. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Actually, you brought up Joseph Schooling. You mentioned just now that you were not exactly the nicest to him, right?
Sorry, Joe. He was my junior when I was training, and obviously we didn't know that he was gonna be freaking Olympic champion, beater of Michael Phelps. He was really annoying that year. We were in an overseas meet, and he was talking so much, so we locked him in a cupboard. And later did we know we were locking up the Olympic champion.
Yeah. So Joseph Schooling, if you're watching this, right, please come on our show, man, and we'll give you a chance to roast him back.
He hates me.
Okay, so we move on to the next question.
Yeah.
So why do you decide to change routes, even though you were there through a true train system, right?
Yeah, so I mean, back then in the sports school, like the options were O levels, you know what I mean? But like the other option was like through train. So I was gonna do this thing where I would get into RP, which would then lead me into NTU. But which would allow me to continue my training. But the prerequisite was that I had to study sports science
forever.
Right. Yeah. And I did not want to study sports science forever. I wanted
when do you
I wanted to be fabulous in a musical. That's why.
When did this like dawn on you?
I always kind of knew that like I wanted to do music and the arts. I think just taking literature classes in school, even in sports school, like
right.
that was actually such a form of escapism for me. Like I really enjoyed just reading and like storytelling.
Right.
And so like it was a big struggle for me because like the career I had chose at the time was so singular and focused. Like you had to, give every waking moment. Like you had to eat right, sleep right, train right.
Yeah.
And I just felt like there was definitely more to life. Which is ironic because now I kind of like super love swimming again. So it's like life comes full circle. But
yeah,
I would say like I always kind of knew that I wanted to be in the arts, do something, music or arts related or acting. So it wasn't a hard choice.
So for swimming, right, was it something that you were put into or was it something that you got yourself into?
It's a bit of both.
Right.
I mean, I think obviously recognizing my privilege growing up, like being allowed to put time into like something like swimming, and allow that to be my career without worry of, like, okay, we weren't really born, like, I wasn't really born into like wealth.
Right.
And we did struggle quite a bit because my mom had like cancer and stuff. So like, but I think we banked on swimming because like it was the most effort I put into anything at that time.
Right.
I was really dedicated to it from a young age. So it was like a bit stupid if you don't follow through. But like I instinctively kind of knew that like I had a shelf life because like I'm not very tall, and I was racing kids from like Australia who were like 15 but freaking 2 meters tall with full beards and chest hair. Like who the fuck has chest hair at 15? What the hell? So I mean, like, obviously,
I'm still waiting for my chest hair to be
honest. It's just that one strand that keeps growing. And you can keep plucking it.
Yeah,
just hypothetically, not speaking from my own chesticle experience. But I would say that, I think especially in life, you kind of know like instinctively what you're kind of called to do or what you'd be good at. So like. I mean, I know, for example, like you also switched paths, right? Like
I
did
did,
engineering, and then you were like, screw this, I want to take photos and be creative and work and be a smart local.
And interview Ben Kheng.
Smartlocal.com. Yeah. So I just think you instinctively know sometimes when to like switch paths. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I guess it was more like you went with your gut, and that's why the change of route.
I did. I just felt like, I had to something I had to do.
Very good. Okay, so Ben, you did a video on the Benzi Project called Unmanly Men.
Oh no.
Yeah. Where you talked about toxic masculinity and topics surrounding it. I think it's an important discussion.
Men are trash.
Yeah, men are trash, but men can be better, right?
That's right.
So was this inspired from your experience in the sports school? Did you feel like you belonged when you were in the sports school?
Not at all. I think. Like how at school is just tough in any school, any secondary school.
I mean,
politics and like you're just figuring out like what gender is and what like society is and cliques and everything. And I imagine like you pick the most assholic people of every school, the jocks, right? You pick the jocks. No, just come with me for a second. Like, you pick the jocks of every school, like the best trackers, the best soccer players, the best swimmers. You put them in a school together. That's a fresh hell, dude. It's a fresh from a hell. I'm sure the school is nicer now, but like there was no school spirit because like everyone there was so used to it being about me. You know what I'm saying? As a sports person, like your whole life.
It makes sense, right, in the sports world that to have it be like that. Yeah.
And I think what reinforced the stereotypes was we were grouped into what we call academies. So every sport was an academy. You had swimming academies, soccer, track and field, badminton,
whatever it is, right?
netball, And very quickly you realize how each sport represents a subsection of culture and economic status in Singapore.
Right.
It's very clear. For example, like a lot of swimmers, ACS boys, RI boys. You know what I mean? That was what those schools were strong for. So a lot of swimmers had that background. So the general swimmer was, sort of mid-upper class.
Right.
Then you got golfers and sailors. I mean, the higher echelons of society with their uneven tans. And then you've got sports that obviously are a bit more neighborhood. You put them all together, right? And then like you make them hang out in a dining hall. It's like you just are made more aware of like the dichotomy of things.
Right.
So yeah, it's something that people don't really like actually understand. But sports school was the perfect petri dish for like understanding race, economic status. So for me, coming from a school like ACS, I need to apologize and preface when I say ACS because like very quickly you need to tear apart your elitism and your understanding of culture and society. And that's what I know. I'm super off topic now, but I feel like it's quite an interesting thing, like looking at it, and that really quickly taught me to like lose whatever notion I had about confidence or about like elitism or meritocracy because like you had to be aware of people's conditions and
but this was not the this was not the usual thing, right? You decided to do this on your own, right?
I mean, no one puts out a 10-year series about like, hey, why is the swimmer full of shit? You know what I mean? But I think quickly you start drawing these lines and you start drawing these boundaries in terms of society, right? Like you won't hang out with other people who don't, hang out or live with you, and we're all in boarding school together. We eat the same army catered food, like that also comes our way. Like because of that microcosm of society, you start to, hurt together, which is bad. And very quickly I was like, that's not cool. So like a bunch of my classmates from all different walks of life were like, let's not do that. Let's hang out together. And I think that was really cool. But that really taught me empathy and just understanding privilege from a younger age, which I think was really important. Yeah.
So definitely, I mean, because you talked about this, right? How does this translate to masculinity then?
Oh, right, that was a topic. Like obviously, there was a lot of like toxic masculinity. I wouldn't say toxic. There was a lot of masculinity in general in sports people, obviously. And I think they just had to assert their dominance in many ways. I guess I was not the most dominant. I'm not the tallest. Like I was the kid who liked musical numbers, you know what I mean? And like was not very cool. So that obviously led to just like me being picked on a little bit. It wasn't a big deal. I just think like obviously then coming out of that into this industry and like looking at the male archetype, what makes like the leading man or what makes, a man in the traditional sense, like how he has to drive, how he's a true man, how he has to what, you know what I mean? Like what's the things he needs to have in his life, and I obviously felt like I didn't fall into that stereotype. And in many areas in Singapore culture, I felt like I was, like an outlier. So that's why I wrote the song for all the unmanly men out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's the explanation.
No, but that's great. No, I think you offered a great little peek into the real
how to be unmanly.
Kheng. No, to be honest, into your life, because I think people don't realize this, and I think you've gleaned some valuable information from the sports school experience that you had when you were a kid.
Yeah,
more power to you, man. More power to you.
Power all around.
Power all around. Okay, let's move on to section 2, which is the Wemsillos, the Sam Willows.
Yes.
Would you say that the Sam Willowses, Sam Willows,
yes,
success was due to hard work, luck, or a little bit of both?
Yeah,
say both.
Not talent for sure. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's it's a bit of everything, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
We were very fortunate to come out at the time of like, when YouTube was popping up, and like
Right.
back then doing covers was cool. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we wrote on that. We did work hard. I think we worked hard, but we could have worked smarter. I think, yeah. In retrospect, in hindsight, but we worked our ass off. I just think like people really didn't see it. They thought like a lot of it was handed to us, but like we really did, like it was just our lives for like 7 years, and it kind of just like that's what really fractured things. It's just like it was so work driven. But it was really fun as well. Could we have done better? Could we have been better musicians? For sure. But like I think for what it's worth, like we give it a really good shot. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Cheers to that.
Cheers to the Sam Willows.
To the Sam Willows. Sam Willow.
Some will I ever
Will
do
I
it again?
ow. Okay, so are the songs that you liked different from the songs that did well? Or maybe, to me, we prefer to perform, or like you prefer when it's finally produced,
Are there projects you like, the projects that do best?
That's a very good comeback. I have no reply.
But
to
I mean,
that, sometimes, but not all the time.
Not all the time. Same, yeah. You understand why a certain project does well, right? Because if it's a demographic, like it's great marketing or whatever, hits a spot. So like, same thing. I understand why a certain song would do well. There's some songs that do well that I love. There are some songs that I hate that did well that we have to play nonstop. And there are some songs that I love that I'll never get to play live. So I mean, like, yeah, it's the same thing. But I guess doing stuff again. So Willows, we were a pop act, right? So obviously we were writing for radio, we were trying to write as ourselves, but also for an audience.
Yes.
And just understanding that, like, yeah, like it's writing within the parameters. Not to say you can't be creative within a structure.
Yes.
You definitely can. Like that's your work as well, right? So I really enjoyed that. But yeah, there were definitely songs that I really, really dug that we don't get to play.
I mean, if you had something that you wanted to share with your audience about this,
I hate Thirsty. I hate that song. What kind of like? Anyway. But I mean, if you love it, like I'm glad because I wrote it too. But shit.
Yeah,
this is soju. God damn it!
It's the red cup soju. No, but it's okay. I mean,
man.
thirsty. It's a good. I mean, drink more if you are thirsty.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question for you.
Yes.
Is it sustainable to do hyper-localized music for Singaporeans, or do they need to be more generic? This is actually quite a good question because considering like myself, I do media in Singapore, right?
Here's my theory, right? Like hyper-localized music, which means that in terms of content, it's very like esoteric. It's really for a Singapore audience.
Tailor it for
it's basically Sugar Shay in 2014, 2015, right? With the 一杯kopi siu dai, 兩個 Milo dinosaur, 加呀多還有兩個地哦，一個 Milo 冰、可樂冰、kopi 冰、地冰哦，不要忘了還有一杯板東。That shit, dude, we gotta
drink to
toast to
that.
that. Toast to Sugar Shay, Sugar Shay. That song is a banger.
They always judge me for knowing that.
Full flat out banger. Okay, so Sugar is one of those guys that I feel like he toyed that line really well, right? Like it was like it was a dope production. Like the song slaps anyway, even if it wasn't local. So yes, I really think that you are able to do that. But like I feel like not everyone can do that because it's got to be organic. Like Sugar, you know what I mean? He speaks dialect. Like Rajit, right? Young Raja, Faiz Jabba, they rap the culture.
Right.
That makes sense. Like that shit will blow up on Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere. But if you're some sort of like kantang fella, then you want to, flex your local, then a bit hard. So I think like it really depends. It could come across gimmicky.
Right.
And gimmicks do well on Instagram and
on social media,
but it might not do well on Spotify.
That's true.
And the Spotify algorithm is very punishing and very different, which is why people sometimes opt for like, the structure of a pop song to get playlisting.
Okay.
But again, as an artist nowadays, you just try to forget all that and just write. Like you just really try to do that. But I can understand,
if someone
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think many local acts. I think it's easy to translate that in hip hop.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna burp. Oh yeah. Woo!
This is the first HTHT episode that I'm not the first one to burp.
Dude, it's the soju. But okay. I burp rainbows and butterflies. It just smells like, yeah. But I'd say that hip hop, because it's it's a genre of culture.
Yes.
It's a genre of community. It's a genre of uprising, and like anti-oppression. So like coming from the heartlands, or like being legitimately Singaporean, that stuff translates better.
Right.
It's weird if you go into like it doesn't like it doesn't work.
I mean,
Unless it's a parody, in which I will do the shit out of that. You know what I'm saying?
that was a pretty good memeable moment. So we have that on camera. So.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm guessing what you're saying basically maybe on certain social media platforms it's sustainable, but maybe not so much for Spotify.
No, I think it's got to be organic. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, there's a lot of commentary about like let's say NDP and how
Yes.
they try to put a rap segment in almost everything.
Yeah, yes.
There was a comment, there was a tweet. I was like, I bet they're gonna put a rap in the national anthem.
Yes.
some shit. Yeah, but I guess like, because I know the committee behind the music, and they do a really good job with like integrating it, because it was about representation, right?
Right.
At the same time, people felt like hip hop was being co-opted, because like hip hop needs to be organic, and so like they're very different opinions. But at the end of it, I would say like it needs to feel organic, lah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
That's it.
So what would you say to a new artist who looks up to Sam Willows, right? And then is asking this question: should we do something that is hyper local, or
No,
should
bro,
we
just do 10 types of listicles as a song.
So
Shout out Tian Hao.
so do videos instead, basically.
Yeah, don't do sketches. It's not sustainable. Just do 10 types of listicles that'll get you by.
Hell. Good answer. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Okay. Man, you mentioned that the Sam Willows was both good and bad for the Sam Willows, and that you were not ready for the spotlight. What are some of the things you have learned from the Sam Willows, and what are some of the things that you wish you could have done differently?
Oh shit. Nice say that. I think like, whoa. Yeah.
It's a little bit heavier, this question.
It's a bit heavy. I think, you either love or hate us, and in the same way we either love or hate ourselves.
Right.
Because I think for us, like, I would say that like we went through so much as a group. We started out more like kind of like folk and bluesy, and then we kind of went into like pop. And it felt like we were always playing catch up. We were always playing catch up to demand, or to what was expected of us, what we thought was expected of us,
Right.
when perhaps it wasn't, and we felt like we had to maintain a certain image or be a certain way, where in any fact that wasn't true, and because I think we achieved like marginal success at an early point, people started looking to us, and they started to like obviously like be upset that musicians of this caliber or music of this type was the premier headline. Like we never said like we were Singapore music. We never said that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
In actual fact, like we would probably give you 10 names that we felt were a better representation of Singapore music. We just wanted to do. We really just enjoyed what we were doing. But I say, so what I've learned from that definitely is like how to create like art in a structure, with limitations.
Right, right.
Yeah, how to create it within parameters. A pop song is 3 minutes, right? Then you've got to cater 4 voices. You got to do English music. You got to make sure it's friendly for the region. These are all little like, again, like it's like a brief, right? Like
It is. So it's not just chaos,
It's not chaos.
Yeah.
Well, it should be chaos at the start, and then you create. They call it write drunk, edit sober.
Yeah.
Soju. So you just write drunk, and then like you just try to make it make sense. But I think it went away from us a little bit, and if I had a chance to redo it, I would have liked us to kind of dig a little deeper and stay true to what we felt was us.
So more chaos first.
Definitely more chaos.
More chaos.
Yeah, more rap, just like
Oh.
and a listicle in a song. If you think about it, what's that
Instagram
that
TV.
Christmas song is a listicle on the 12 Days of Christmas. Tian Hao, please do a video of.
This man dropping all these nuggets of wisdom, whatever this brand
I love
is.
Tian Hao. He's such a good dude.
Jinro, you gotta go into rebrand this to wisdom juice or something like that, man. It's giving
Shout
us
out.
so much insight.
Get that John 15% off on Instagram.
John
Soju
15.
ambassador.
That's right. Give me some
Soju.
of that soju. Okay. I think that's a good. Actually, following on this question, right?
Yes.
I'm actually curious about because Alistair must have found out you mentioned this somehow. If I were to ask you now, if you were to name one thing that was good and one thing that was bad off the top of your head, what would this be?
Bad stuff. Too many skinny ripped jeans. Balls need to breathe, bro. Like,
Balls need to breathe. Rip more. Skinny still okay.
That's true. Essentially, just like shorts. What was good about it?
Mm-hmm.
I like to say that we really we did our best to go regional. Like we really tried as hard as we could to put together successful like promo tours and like tours as much as we could. We tried to write songs for a demographic that we decided on. The bad stuff is I think people just how do I say like I said, I just wish that we focused a bit more on the music. But I don't blame the guys because none of us felt like we owned the brand anymore. You know, when it's your solo project or when it's something that you really feel for, you not just work hard, you work super smart, you put effort into it. You get the brief and you go like, how can I make this like the greatest USP ever?
Yes.
And at some point, like even going into like the later writing sessions, like the songs were great, but like it kind of felt like none of us had like identity over the songs.
Right.
It just felt like we were serving the song. So I mean, I wish we kind of like focused on that a bit more. But no regrets.
No regrets, man. No regrets. I think y'all did fantastic. So
okay lah.
All right, let's move on to section 3. Okay, section 3, which is a more recent endeavor of yours, which is called the Benzi Project.
Oh no.
Okay, what is the ultimate goal of your comedy on the Benzi Project?
Netflix, hit us up. That's the goal. Not even shy about it.
Netflix.
Give us that deal.
Hit him up and then hit us up, man.
Yeah, you can put Pachukang there, you can put Benzi Project.
You can put Alastair Pang there, but put me in front of the camera.
That's right. The goal actually honestly was initially just to get sync, but the more PC goal is to just create like funny shit for people to think about. You know what I mean? But that shit expensive, man. Like that stuff is not cheap. So like therefore we are on hiatus. Yes, until we get a bit richer.
But what can I say? I do enjoy the content on the Benzi Project.
I love the way you said it and Port, you're so true. Like you're some sort of like movie villain. What can I say? I do enjoy it.
Slow-mo for the camera.
I do enjoy it.
What can I say? I do enjoy the Benzi Project.
Yeah, I think we really quickly realized that Benzi was not for everyone, but it was really for some people who really enjoyed it, And we felt like a nice niche was like the 18 to 35s or like 21 to 35s or like millennials who are sick of society or like who just want to laugh at themselves. Like, because basically we hate ourselves, right? So, I mean, just why not create content so we can hate together? That was the point. But yeah, like I think that was the goal behind it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. You mentioned that the Benzi Project was ultimately not sustainable. You cannot be I quote, you cannot be an artist in the industry and you have to mellow out and find a lane. Do you think that the audience's taste will eventually develop to the point where more artsy-oriented content will be mainstream?
Can't believe I said that. I'm so full of shit.
Okay, maybe before we go into this, right,
so
would you
full of
identify more yourself, right, as like a artist, or would you just say that you're more of a creator? Because I think this is quite different.
Before that, I don't think I said Benzi wasn't sustainable.
Right.
I think someone else said that, but I would maybe half.
But do you agree with it?
I would half agree. I think. Obviously, I like to believe that we can get funding for it, you know what I mean? Or I just wish I had a sugar daddy that could fund all this stuff. Contrary to probably believe, like,
sugar daddies?
Oh, are we looking for sugar daddies now? Okay, I thought, okay. No, but I say, no, artist and creator are very interchangeable. I don't think we should separate those two. I wouldn't deny someone the identity of an artist if they say they're an artist.
Right.
You know, because I think it's a state of mind. But a creator, again, I think content creator is a very different thing, right? Yeah, and there is artistry in that, but you can also easily fall into just like, I gotta put a video out this week, so I gotta do it. You know, so I think it
becomes a routine.
Yeah, and like I listened to the Zen Hao episode. You know what I mean? Like I think he has a lot of valid points. Like he's got responsibilities, he's got to pay off, you know, like income for like 40 people in Titan. So I mean,
and that dilutes the artist a little bit.
No, that's the thing, right? Like, and I was also trying to fight through with Willows. It's like you give yourself like structure to create art around it, and if you can, that's like dope. For example, like that's what a good ad does, right? Like it's so easy to put out an ad that's just like normal and blah, and it's just like okay, you buy ad space on it on Facebook. It's just very normal, like it just But when you see brilliant ads, oh my god, right? Like there's a recent one by was it Uptown at Farrah? Uptown at Farrah, dude.
My man.
They're so good. That's what I mean. It's like Like it's a bit psycho thriller kind of thing. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But it's like, again, it's a parameter. It's a freaking ad for a condo
Yeah.
or like a real estate. But it's dope. You know what I mean? Like you can create magic with parameters. I'm not saying that people are not creating magic right now or that Ten Hao isn't, because I think he's doing what his demographic needs him to do.
Right.
you know?
Right.
But let's say if I had a team of 40 and a following of his, I think the content that I would create would be quite different. I would just say that.
There must have been some other decisions that,
Yeah.
basically shifted.
But because
the
of
way
my
you do things.
difference of my content, I don't think I will ever get,
Right.
a company of 40 or 300 billion followers. Yeah.
Okay, so like, I mean, coming back to the question initially about whether you're optimistic about whether Singaporeans will appreciate artsy content, will it ever become the mainstream? Because I mean, we both use social media. In fact, we both create content on social media. I'm pretty sure we are aware of like the type of thing that people consume on social media. Right, and sometimes, I mean, you yourself, you love theatre, right?
Yep.
And I would say that's a little bit more of an artsy venture. It's not something that is immediately palatable to the
Correct.
general population.
And I think we have to realize that we'll never reach a critical amount in Singapore,
Mm.
simply because of the quantity of like we just don't have enough people around here.
Yeah.
And therefore, because we're such a fractured society, and also we're super globalized and colonized, right? So like we're never gonna get like the mainstream in a sense. I think the closest things you have are people obviously like Ten Hao and whatnot. But like because we're so segregated, right? That gives rise to a lot of very niche subcultures and genres that can thrive and find a place on its own. For example, like in the fine art scene, right? Like that's some really good work there. Will it ever make me watch? No, but it's there.
Right.
And whenever they do try to cross over, the audience is just not ready for it.
Right.
Because we just have to realize, end of the day, like we need time to get it done. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I would also like say that it's sometimes not a population thing, because if you look at Iceland,
right,
which is a population of less than 400,000 people, right? Like the Icelandic sound and music is so obvious. It's a whole post-rock thing. But they have literally like less than a tenth of what we have in terms of population. Yet they're able to export that sound globally. So like there is no excuse in that sense. I think the only thing is, obviously we do not favor arts and culture in Singapore.
Right.
With much more GDP focus,
Yeah,
economic growth. So the journey is going to be longer than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Optimistic still. Not bad. Not bad. Very good. Okay, so we'll move on to the next section, which is on social media, right? Which you mentioned briefly just now, right? So, question for you. Ben mentioned that social media is his way of life, but his relationship with it has changed. Do you think it has improved, or have you just gotten jaded by it already?
I'm trying to recall when and where I said these things.
Wait, our stalker producer is really
okay, it
good
was
at
when we
these
had a
things.
chat, right? Okay, with
He's
Alistair.
really good at these things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Was I drunk then? No. Okay. Unfortunately, it is a mode of commerce for me. But yeah, I think again, the rules of engagement and the way we consume media today is different from even last year. It's changing at an exponential rate. Because
Definitely.
there's just like a surplus of content out now. I'm gonna talk about circuit breaker. Everyone's doing a live stream and a
Absolutely.
TikTok video. Like it's just so much stuff, right? And therefore our tolerance for different kinds of media and whatnot, like it really changes. I struggle with it because to me it's such a moving target, and it doesn't give me like an incredible amount of satisfaction. But what does get me the satisfaction is like come up with something like kind of novel and interesting, or just being like honest.
That hits the target, or just for you?
Hits whatever, man. Like I'll just throw shit at the wall, hope it sticks. But yeah, have you seen my TikToks? Like it's just like what?
I mean, I don't watch TikTok, but I'm pretty sure you're all do.
Honestly, okay, I would say this though. Watch TikTok, because like it's gone from a simply shitty platform to like people being really creative. Like there was a point where like the main page would just favor just people being gross and like just whatever. But
right.
I would say now the cream of the crop and the creatives really froth to the top. Like there's some kids doing crazy shit on TikTok right now, and the resistance with TikTok is real. I get it, but with every generation, there was a new platform that people hate.
That is true.
Right?
That is true.
From film to like TV to the internet to YouTube to Instagram and then now TikTok, and everyone's like, oh, TikTok is shit. I hope it gets cancelled. But like, It's the future, lah. You know,
Mm.
until Instagram decides to copy it or something.
What,
Yeah,
what's it
reels.
called? What, reels, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think we should. I think the hate is understandable.
Right.
The same way how like older generations of either musicians or industry people would hate on the younger generation.
Yes.
But like it's a higher call to accept it and to embrace it.
And to actually make use of it.
Yeah, like I'm an aging millennial that struggles to understand Gen Z culture, but I'm trying my best and understanding that why certain things in Gen Z culture is important to them, as opposed to what we even as millennials like favor as importance. It's important to kind of understand how culture is shifting.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a very good answer, to be honest. We were a little bit too black and white about it, huh? Wow. Wisdom juice. More wisdom juice.
Wisdom juice. Trying to get me.
I noticed that your wisdom juice is a little bit higher than mine, so let's cheers to wisdom.
Bruh,
juice.
you know how bad I am. I'm really like quite there.
It's okay. Slowly.
This is my Chinese jeans. Songo.
My one, jogger jeans.
Is that content you're creating? Nice.
Memes, right? Memes
Yeah.
for the memes.
Do it for the memes.
Okay, next question. Ben once said there are people who talk, there are people who do. The people who talk need the people who do, and the people who do need the people who talk. There are
Shut up,
people who
Ben.
talk, and there are people who do. You said that twice, so yes. Okay. How would you describe your relationship between yourself and your haters? Do they still occupy a big part of your mind and attention?
The relationship with myself and myself is like go back in time and slap the shit out of myself for this bullshit quotes. I still think that there are people who talk and people who do. And I think there's some people who talk for a living and create content for that, right? But to the hater thing, like, I just don't give a shit anymore. Honestly, like,
Is this the aging millennial talking?
yes. I also think like I like to say that there's a bit less hate now. The fact that I just give less of a crap about my career, or like at least it doesn't reach me as strongly as it used to.
Right.
At least I don't get it. But if it's come across you, please feel free to forward it to me, and I can shit on them gloriously. But no, I think when you've been around for some time, as I have, like I think you just get used to it. Not used to it, but you realize in context how simple and how silly it is to engage with trolls on the internet, whether it's your direct hater or someone who opposes your view. Because like if you can't tell that the internet is an echo chamber at this point, then you're just dumb as shit, bro. Like I do believe it's important to fight for things, and I do believe that at some points in social media, like it's affected change. For example, like the K-pop stands and how they've taken over certain hashtags and affected change. Yeah, there are lots of other people on the internet though with burner accounts who just don't contribute at all to society, and you can feel free to just ignore those people because like maybe it's just a year where I had to really adult and concentrate on other shit like marriage and all that. But like you just realize that like life goes on, and you got to pick your battles. You really got to pick your battles. Yeah, and the worst battle you can fight is one with a faceless hater. Okay, but if the guy identifies himself as like John from Smart Local, then then that's a conversation
we're gonna go to the void deck and then we just go see.
What's I settle? I'm not happy, is it?
Yeah,
watch out. Yeah, oya piasom. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a foolish endeavor to unless I really feel like the haters have a point. You know what I mean? Then I would gladly eat my own foot.
But were you? Oh, okay. So you're willing to engage with a hater if they can change your mind?
I'm willing to apologize.
Fantastic.
I think not enough people say sorry online. When have you ever seen a Twitter fight that ended with "I'm sorry"? It never happened in the history of Twitter. That never happens unless you are forced into an apology. People just feel like they have to, they're so guarded and they will just find ways to just assert themselves, and if not, they'll just descend into personal shit. But like, and even when people apologize, people continue to sling shit on them just because it's the internet. So apologies are much more devalued online than they are in real life. But the art of apologizing is so important. And I actually have this conversation a lot with my fiance, who feels like I apologize too much. I feel like she doesn't apologize enough. I'm sorry for saying that. No, but I think, but she also sometimes she's worried that my apologies don't hold weight because I say sorry so much. But I do think that it's important to dismantle the ego, and to know and to call it when you're wrong. And I will gladly talk about when I have like messed up.
And this is something that I personally agree with because like I feel that like what you mentioned, I feel that people don't apologize enough.
Yeah.
And I think, sometimes people neglect like at what kind of small things you can actually apologize for just for it to be a more nice conversation. Like
For
a
sure.
simple thing, like if I accidentally wrote, I accidentally spoke too loudly or accidentally yelled at you, I do want to apologize for raising my voice because I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
But I think people forget that.
But we're not bred into a culture of that. In Singapore, we're like hyper competitive. We have been spoon fed and we complain a lot.
Yeah.
So when you add all those factors into the art of conversation, like apologizing is just not in your vocabulary. And when someone apologizes, that's being seen as a sign of weakness, and then they further pounce on that person. But like in a proper civil discussion, apologies go so far.
Yes.
Into healing, into constructive comments, into actually progressing as a society or even in your friendship. Like apologies are important. And like again, like if a hater comes to me with constructive criticism or says like you shouldn't have said this, I will gladly apologize.
Is there an incident that has happened that you can it's a little bit more public, it's not like a personal life thing. I mean, it has happened for me.
Yeah? What happened?
So, real quick, what happened was that basically my friend mentioned about the dangers of buying homebrewed products to put it on your face and skin and stuff like that. So I screenshotted an article that accidentally implicated the merchants that were in that article.
Oh shit!
So they sent me an angry email, and I was just like, you know what, I gotta address this because I didn't mean to target you. I'm just saying that there's this thing that you gotta be careful of. You don't fucking put shit on your face, right? But I'm not saying that this is your shit, even though it might imply that. So I took it down. I properly apologized, and then it ended well. I just thought to myself that this is a great learning experience for myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel that given this opportunity, a lot of people would not have responded well to a situation like that. And I'm really lucky that the merchants privately approached me first.
Yeah.
Because these days on the internet is freaking Wild West, man. It's the Wild West.
Tag mothership, tag coconuts, tag everything. That's it. Yeah. It's the Wild West. I fucked up plenty. I think what was a good incident? I did a shoot for Men's Folio in which Nathan and I impersonated like rock stars who had kind of passed away. Nathan also got heat for that because people thought he brown skinned himself or he darkened his skin. He was impersonating, I think, Freddie Mercury.
Right,
but people would realize that work for Nathan is tan in general. Right. And if you look at the LUT or the way the photo was treated, the contrast was really bumped up lah. So but I mean, like, that was a separate issue. My issue was that so it was a shoot where I was supposed to impersonate Kurt Cobain. Essentially, the shoot already was kind of questionable because you're taking the legacy of rock stars and putting it with timepieces. So it's it's a commodity, but it's also banking on the legacy and the culture of rock stars, right? So that was that, right? But at the time, I was like, it's kind of cool. It was kind of cool to dress up. So I was Kurt Cobain, and I was given the brief at the time. Like one of the pictures was shown to me, please copy this photo. And the photo was basically of Kurt Cobain smoking a cigarette, right? But he was doing this, like that, right? With these glasses, he's just doing that, right? And they're like, oh, can you please copy this pose? And I was like, okay, were you gonna cigarette? They're like, no, just kind of put it in your mouth like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
not cool.
So at first I was like, oh, can I just do that? They're like, no, like, just do that because it's cool and edgy. And at the moment, right, I was like, that might be insensitive because, he died by suicide, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, but just take the photo and later on, we'll do some other options. And once we get to the edit, we'll just pick whatever's best. So I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And the moment I remember I had a conversation with Nathan who was like beside me. I was like, hey, Kurt Cobain, how did he die? Then we were like, I think I said like, oh, I think he drowned in a bathtub or he asphyxiated himself. That was Elvis Presley.
Right.
And Nathan was like,
no.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm like, okay. So whatever, I just did that. But no, he died with gunshot to his freaking skull.
Yes.
And so like, when the rushes came out and the article came out, at a point I completely, like, my mind just spaced out about it. I was also guest editor of that particular issue.
Right.
So it was on my onus to check.
Yeah.
And I checked through everything. But that goddamn photo. Right. I was like, yeah, it looks good, man. Pass. Right. And so that went out. And it got picked up by it kind of laid low for a bit. I didn't even think about it. And then it got picked up by, I think, a few members of the music industry.
Oh shit.
They're more of like the older musicians who obviously took offense to that lah.
Yes.
And it wasn't a big blown out thing, but one of them went to go and like tech mothership, tech everyone.
Oh,
So I was
man.
like, shit.
It's not too good.
But I instantly realized that I fucked up.
Mhm.
Like I knew I was wrong
Mhm.
because there's no way that could be passed. Even if, again, I didn't come up with the idea,
Yeah.
I could have stopped it. It's similar with the blackfacing, or like the
Yes.
whatever. It's like there's so many levels where it could be stopped.
Absolutely.
So everyone takes the blame. I fully took the blame. So I could have not apologized because it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Like, I think a good apology goes a long way.
Yeah.
Also because I've represented Samaritans in Singapore before,
Mm.
and suicide is not a joke.
Yes.
So I felt like I had to say something. And then once I posted the apology, that shit blew up. And then everyone started like reposting that shit and resharing, oh, Ben said something insensitive, so you had to apologize. And it was, I think the biggest catalyst was actually me coming out and saying sorry. But I really did mess up on that one. It was a big learning point for me that I just flubbed that moment. So I think like it was like, it was a lesson to be learned, lah. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that I had that chance to learn the lesson. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And we all come out from these kind of things better people.
So don't impersonate Kurt Cobain.
I mean, you can impersonate him in the
Just not with the gun stuff.
not with that kind of stuff.
Keep it away.
All right, next question that we have for you: cancel culture.
Oh my god.
It's a huge topic of debate these days. With,
go home.
with, of course, we have to mention your sister getting into some drama of her own with Miss XX. Right? Do you feel that this cancel culture, right, has made for a better society, for a better social media experience, or worse? Cancel culture existing within social media, has it made social
I'm sure it's
media-
fun for some people. I'm sure it's
Right.
important. It is
Mhm.
important. It makes me feel very heavy, obviously.
Mm.
Because okay, I mean, like, you can be an abolitionist or reformist, right? You can want to tear down the system when you want to improve it. I'm always the advocate for improving it. So
Absolutely.
if it's not a crime, if it's workable, you work it with the person,
Mm.
possibly offline.
Right,
There are many
right.
times where I could have taken like issues online, but I was like, yeah, I don't want to, But I think there is power too in utilizing social media. There is power in boycotting things that are problematic. I will be the first to say that actually cancel culture is important. I mean, I'm not the first to say, but I will openly admit that in areas it's incredibly crucial where we can affect change in the right way. Where we are always, I guess, belittling and demeaning important minority voices. Not just minority in terms of race, but in terms of idealism.
anything.
So
It could be
lived
anything.
experiences, right? And it's very important for these voices to be heard. And it's so great now that finally these stories are being told of, whether it's toxic workplace vibes or, it's just racial discrimination, it's casual racism,
Yes.
stuff like that we always joke about. Like, I think cancel culture is too broad and a bit of a misnomer.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a wrong term.
All right.
But I think it's just the increased awareness, lah. Yeah. So I'd say that it's actually a pretty good thing
Okay.
used wisely.
Used wisely. Because actually, I have a personal question for you. Because recently we actually did an episode, right, a podcast episode where we mentioned about cancel culture and when it goes too far. So I'm of the opinion that when it goes too far, when people they want to take the justice into their own hands.
Yeah,
And then
that's
they
right.
feel that the punishment is not proportionate to what they think. So do you agree with that?
I think it's okay for people to jump in and to debate because it's a common topic. For example, like, with Dee Kosh's saga, with like
Whatever has been happening in 2020,
everything. Yeah,
to be
basically the whole of
honest.
2020. But at the end of the day, like, we should always divert to the opinions of the oppressed. For example, the victims of the situation. I feel like they have the last narrative.
Right.
Or whether to forgive or, because like it's impossible for us to like accept or reject an apology on behalf of them. I don't think that's right. But we can rationalize for sure. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. I personally try to not get too involved. If like you can tell, like, I only release statements when I feel like it's absolutely necessary, and if not, like, I feel like there's enough narratives going around. There's
Yeah.
so many narratives,
I think that's a wise strategy to have on the internet, especially.
Yeah, but it's not really a strategy. It's just something that I feel is right. Like, okay, again, everyone fights a different battle, and like in terms of the landscape of activism, everyone has a different role. Like, I may not have the tools that Pretty Please or Subhash has us. It's a so true. I may not have those tools. I think they're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like, even my sister Narelle, like, I feel like she's such a strong advocate for important things, and she really has the language for that. You
Yeah.
know, and it's really, really impressive to see her go at it. I don't always agree with everything she does, but by and large, I am very proud of like the person she is and what she stands for. But in the past, I've been very like, oh, let me write a long Facebook comment and like a long Facebook post about my thoughts and everything, and like that 2014 Ben is dead and gone. You know what I mean? I feel like it's way. Action. Oh my god, it's such a lame thing to say, but actions really speak louder.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just really keeping to that. Even for me, like doing Benzi and touching upon things that I've always wanted to touch upon, like race, privilege, politics. Benzi doesn't shove it down your throat. You know, Benzi just asks questions. And so people laugh and then they go like, oh shit, am I the bigot? Am I the asshole? And so that retrospect comes later, which is nice. So I think maybe that's what I'm better at.
Nice. You know, I think you brought up something that I think is important, that like you don't necessarily have to agree all the time with what people do, but like you don't necessarily have to participate as well immediately.
Yeah.
You know, like what you mentioned about with your sister Narelle, right? Sometimes you don't agree with what she has to say, but you don't have to immediately participate at that point.
I'd say like, I disagree like 10% of the time, but 90% of the time she's like on point. So preach.
Preach.
Yeah. But I'd say obviously the line is crossed when for example, like we can disagree and still be friends, obviously. But when like I understand why some people will be up in arms over certain topics. For example, you know, like 377A, and why like, you know, that community is like they have a right to be riled up about, you know, the oppression that's happening.
Yes.
I myself am a Christian, you know what I mean? But like I understand the dynamic that goes into that lived experience and why it's important for them to fight for what they feel is intrinsically them and their identity. You know, so I mean, like, yes, then fight because that's you, that's who you are. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can, because that's your basic, that's fundamentally you.
Yes. Right. Nice. Okay, next question about social media is probably the last one before we move on to the next topic,
Let's
right?
do it.
So Ben recently came out with a statement about the Dee Kosh incident. Ooh, do you feel the pressure? This is actually quite a good question, because do you feel the pressure to come out and address these issues given your social media standing/influence? I think this is a question that has been on a lot of people's minds, especially for our younger audience.
Well, I mean, I think for that incident, I was getting kind of like I wouldn't say pressured, but people were kind of reaching out and going like, you know, maybe you should say something.
Do you want to say anything, right?
Especially because he's your friend, you know, and you guys have worked together, and you not saying anything, and also having worked with him before, you essentially are an ableist lah, because you're allowing this narrative to perpetuate.
Yes.
Which is not true. Obviously, I do not condone, you know, the things he's done. I think what Husey said as well, like I kind of agree, because it's and Nathan to a certain extent too. It's so hard for people in our position because he's a dude we've known for like 10 years. And the truth is,
that was not the him you know.
Correct. Like there was, I mean, okay, yes, there were moments there were choices that he made in his career that were a bit sketchy to us. You know, for example, like we will obviously like not want to comment too much about it. We will take his word for it. For example, you know, if you're hanging out with a friend and friend's like, bro, I'm not a sexual predator. I'm like, yeah, okay, I believe you. You know what I mean? Like you won't straight away go like, no, fuck you. Like what?
Yeah,
you know,
are you sure?
Like as a friend who is loyal to you, who is really invested in your life, you give that person the benefit of a doubt.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of what we did with Dee. You know what I mean? So we found out about that at the same time as everybody.
Yeah.
So that was really hard news for us, and obviously also understanding what some of these victims have gone through. Or just victims of sexual abuse, harassment, sexual grooming in general. It's tough, you know. And so I really commend him for coming out, speaking about it. And it's an incredibly brave thing to do. At the same time, as a friend, I don't want to like, I'm not ditching him, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like a good friend would criticize, would really discipline, and then run into the fire with the person and work them out, unless they are like Jeffrey Epstein or a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or they're extremely detrimental to society. But like, even at that point, like, you know, it's calling upon your definition of friendship.
Yes.
You know,
absolutely.
and loyalty. And so it was just a big tension point for all of us. Like, we all felt extremely uncomfortable with the news that came out, right?
Yeah.
Because none of us stand for that kind of stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all still trying to work around it. And yes, there's no prosecution yet. We don't know the full detail, so it's really hard for us to give a definitive statement. But I'm pretty sure none of us stand for, like sexual harassment of minors. sexual
Absolutely,
abuse.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think what you mentioned here was very important because like a lot of people forget this human element when it comes to these kind of relationships, especially for yourself with a friendship with Dee Kosh, right? So like people forget that like there's a person behind the mistake, and I think that's where the friendship thing becomes important.
Yeah. Okay. It's very quick that people start to dehumanize
Yes,
people
absolutely.
of prominence, especially when they have like messed up royally,
Mm.
right? Because suddenly like the entire definition of that some of who they are is their sin or what they've done.
Yes.
And in a legal situation, yes, like they should be prosecuted. This is a serious crime. You know what I mean? But like, yes, this person also has friends. This person has a family. And my instant worry for D was that he was going to do something stupid. He was going to hurt himself. Because you imagine this guy who has lived his life online, who like his identity is quite mirrored in his work.
Yes.
I wouldn't say completely. D is a quite different person off camera than he is on camera.
Okay.
But obviously, again, not condoning any of the things he's done. But my first instinct was like, please don't hurt yourself. Please be okay. I also understand the situation, with his friends and family. It might be very sensitive. So I just wanted him to be okay. Yeah.
That's noble thing to think.
It's the normal thing to think.
No, but to be honest, I think your friends are lucky to have you as a friend.
I can be a shitty friend.
But in this aspect, I would say they're lucky to have you as a friend. So let's drink to that.
Friendships.
Friendships.
Non-problematic friendships.
Non-problematic friendships don't necessarily exist, to be honest.
It's always nice to have some problem.
Yeah.
As long as it's
Preferably they're not too big.
solvable problems.
And now we're on to our green bottle.
Dude, I am
okay.
there.
It's okay. What we have here is
like if the cameras, like even if you keep rolling, I'm gonna fall asleep on this couch.
Very good. We have a nice thing going here, and then more memes upcoming soon. So do let us know if we need to top up his red cup in the comments. But I mean, that's after. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, next we go on to section 5 about living. Okay, so Ben, this one is a little bit more heavy. Okay, so some of the stuff that we're gonna explore here is gonna be a little bit more serious, and
Let's get it.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so Lester, I believe through his conversations, he found out that you were suicidal at 15, and said that you were self-conscious and suffered from anxiety that was never properly diagnosed. Right? Eventually, what inspired you to keep fighting despite the struggles? And I think what you say here is going to be impactful to a lot of people who have similar struggles.
Yeah, I think it's pretty normal to obviously have these thoughts. Like in this day and age, like conversations with everyone, I feel like almost everyone's kind of been through that kind of valley as well. And I would say that sometimes we shy away from the conversation of treating it as a medical condition.
Right.
I think sometimes you really have to think about it as a common flu. If it's a chemical imbalance that can be solved with serotonin imbalance, that you can solve it with medication, you should. But for me, I think it was a combination of that as well as like just understanding that my struggles were not me. I'll be able to to extract myself and look at it from like a third party position and realize that depression or anxiety, self-doubt, paralyzing self-doubt and existential crisis, these are all things that like that are beside me that I could look upon as friends, but they do not define who I am. So you can look at them, you can acknowledge their presence, and you can walk away. And I think it's almost allowing myself time to be sad. Like I'll fall into these like sort of like temperamental or mood swings where like you can't get out of bed for a whole day, that kind of situation. But I would say that like allowing yourself that time to be sad and then setting a timetable to like get out there and do something else.
Right.
Yeah, that's been really helpful. Yeah.
Right, nice. That's a great question. All right, so we're going to go take a quick camera break.
Cameras need a break.
Cameras need a break. And then we'll be right back.
Poor cameras.
All right, we are back from our toilet break, camera break, whatever break you want to call it. So once again, we're back with Ben Kheng. So more questions for him. Okay, next question. Because just now we're delving a little bit into more sensitive stuff, a little bit of mental health here and
The
there,
soju is settling in.
which is perfect for answering this
It's
kind of questions
perfect.
because it's honest.
It's perfect.
So this one is a little bit heavier. Ben, right? So
like it
your
heavy.
mom passed away when you were 12. My condolences. And you're very vocal about the struggles of going through that, right? So how has this incident, this going through this with your mom, impacted your view on life and the world?
I think people sometimes think that like grief is like a short-term thing when these kind of things happen. I think what I'm beginning to realize is that like you never stop saying goodbye in a sense. You never stop grieving. For me, like I'll like obviously I'll get these like pangs of like these moments of thought of like a thought bubble of her every now and then, and like it has almost become like a part of me, which I've just like begun to accept as part of my life and always being a part of me. And I've openly grieved about it online. I've talked about it before. I make no apologies for doing it because I feel like it's a shared experience. I think I wrote like one composition when I was like secondary one about my mom, and I got a long ass message from my teacher saying like, I think it's time for you to move on. Yeah, so in hindsight, fuck you. No, I mean, okay, that's a bit harsh.
But did they give you a good grade?
No, like she felt like
then fuck
she felt like
you.
I wasn't like, and I was 13, right, by the way, but like I was also struggling to understand all this stuff, and she was like, please, like you need to move on, like you don't harp on it, you know what I mean?
Oh,
but I'm
man.
like, that's completely what you should not say to an artist, you know what I mean? When it's something that's very real, it doesn't have to be a death thing. It could be whatever, right? Like I think, like I said before, like true art comes from a real place.
Yeah.
Some place really organic.
Yes.
And I can't deny that that's a really real place for me. That's where a lot of like, I guess my music or my art comes from. And it's something that I had to accept. But yeah, I think I also had to grow up really, really quick because of that. Actually, funny story. I was just talking to my fiance about it. Like, I haven't quarreled with my dad actually ever since I was 13. Ever since like my mom passed. Like I know people fight with their parents a lot.
Yeah.
It's incredibly I've never quarreled with him since because at that point he kind of said something to the extent of like, you're a man of the house now. Like I'm gonna treat you like a full adult.
Right.
And he always kind of like had that optics on me as such. And because of that, like, yeah, we have a really good relationship.
That's great.
Yeah, so a couple of blessings in disguise, but yeah, I think growing up without a mother figure so much. I mean, I do have a wonderful stepmom. But yeah, it's really taught me about the idea of mortality and that really how few things matter. That I mean, my God, English, yeah,
in the
like
face of death, right?
yeah, exactly. Like a lot of things that you think matter right now are not that important. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I think that's a good motto to live by for a lot of things.
for sure. And it's not real until it becomes real for you.
Absolutely.
You know, anyone who's been by a near-death experience or a like big, profound moment of humanity will tell you like quarreling with haters or whatever is just not that
It's
important in your life.
inconsequential.
Yeah, really, like just focus on the things that really matter. Yeah.
That's true because actually, personally, my creative journey was inspired by the death of my grandfather.
Wow.
It made me realize that, like, after losing 1 out of 4 of my grandparents, and I still haven't achieved anything in my life, and I kind of felt that like I was at a point where I let him down in a way that was irredeemable because he's gone.
Were you guys close?
We were close, but I wish we were closer. And that kind of like gave me a new drive, I guess, to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, if you have some words for some 15-year-old or 12-year-old who's going through loss, what would it be? Besides, don't find teachers like that.
Yeah. Sometimes words are a bit much as well. I feel like it's just better to be there for the people. You know what I mean? Like but I would say this, like, whatever you're feeling, like if you're going through it, like it's okay to feel that. It's completely acceptable, and you should like recognize that you're feeling sad or depressed or you're grieving. It's just a part of you. Appreciate that part of you. And then obviously know that like you are surviving them. You know, you're surviving the legacy.
Yeah.
And they're very much a part of you. As like Disney as that sounds, you know, it's very, very true. It's I think that the biggest thing for me, and I'm sure you can relate as well, like with your grandfather stuff, it's just like the whole world just moves on. The whole world keeps going. And it's a crazy thing. Like,
and then in the flesh, suddenly it's like years, you know. It's
Yeah.
been a while. Yeah.
It's crazy. I remember turning 24 or 25 and realizing that I've spent more than half my life without my mom. And I just I just sat from my computer and cried, because for me, like, I could not accept like a reality in which like I'm still like, I couldn't accept that I lived more life not with her than with her. You know, it's such a real profound moment for me.
Yeah.
But also the realization that I can do it, you know, and that like she was put here for a purpose and that time was up. So I think that was a very powerful acceptance for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right. Next question we move on to. Okay, so Ben once said, I quote, "I am writing the script. I am telling the story.
Oh God!
I am not living out
Make it
someone
stop!
else's script. They can
stop!
say anything they want,
Stop
but
it!
it doesn't stick because I have the pen." End quote. What do you wish for yourself in the future? In brackets, abstract goals.
You're killing me, guys. You're killing me. This is why I need to delete myself off the internet. Oh shit. Oh.
Maybe one quick answer in abstract goals and maybe one quick answer in more concrete goals, because
What the fuck
we're
was that?
all, aging millennials.
What have you done, Nasa? What have you done to me?
He's done such a good job.
Oh my God. Shut up, Ben. No, I think that's quite powerful. Well done, Ben. Wow. Look at me, motivational speaker.
Yeah.
That's right. Who's that famous Singaporean motivational speaker?
I don't know. I only know Tony Robbins.
No, what's the guy's name?
Adam
Sees
Khoo.
ads. Yeah, Adam Khoo. Watch out, Adam Khoo.
Yeah, Adam Kheng.
Coming for you. That's right. King. I don't know what that quote means anymore. I guess it means that like you are in charge of your own narrative.
Yeah.
Lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have the pen of your own right and your own script.
Mm-hmm. I use marker, to be honest, actually.
I use keyboard lah, bro.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's right. I use blood. It's a blood pact.
Oh, that's not too good.
Hey man, I really do think so. I think you are a lot more in control of your destiny than you think.
Yeah. So in terms of goals, what do you have? Like more, like it can be abstract goals first, but maybe you start with something that's more concrete. I'm sure stuff is weighing on you right now.
Yeah, just being happy, man. Actually, to that point, to your previous point as well, like the fact that claiming your own narrative is so important. Speaking your dreams into existence is very important. And again, another thing that one of the few things I learned in sports school, because I didn't learn many things.
Right.
One of the few things I learned that we do in psychology class, in sports psychology, is a very powerful exercise of visualization.
Yes.
Where literally we will literally close our eyes, right, with a stopwatch in our hand, and we would visualize our entire race according to the time that we want to achieve. And then when we finish visualizing it, we hit the stopwatch and we try to get the exact time.
As close to...
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
And like, obviously, that cheesy phrase, if you see it, you'll believe it. No, if you see it, you'll believe it. Yeah. You have to like, Soju is talking right now.
There can be miracles if you
when
believe.
you believe. Yeah, but the idea is actually visualizing your goals is a very, very powerful tool.
Right.
And speaking into existence, yeah. So I'm...
do you do that now for your...
Yeah, I mean, I would like to have a happy marriage and a happy wedding. I'm going to speak that into existence. I would like for Dee Kosh to become better. I would like for him to, just be better. Speak that into his existence. What else? Yeah. I think just like, I want to be in a constant state of happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do value happiness. It was so funny. Like, I think there was some point, the Willows, we took like this tarot card reading thing on YouTube.
Right.
And then like, you're allowed to ask one question to the tarot card reader. And then everyone asked like, will I be rich? And I'm the only asshole that went, oh, will I be happy? What an idiot.
Rich?
Yeah.
So what was the answer?
I don't remember. I gotta watch the video again.
Okay.
But I remember a great moment when I was 15. I went for like a palm reading, and
Right.
the woman said that like you will be poor, you won't get married, and you'll die young.
Well,
So that's going well.
look at you fighting against the palm
Yeah,
reader.
I'm 30.
Fighting against
Is that
the
young? I don't
palm
know.
reader.
Yeah, palm reader.
Nice. Very good.
No offense to palm readers out there, please don't cancel me. Like
Yeah,
there's
sponsor him at least one free reading.
there's some great palm readers out there.
But why you all never predict COVID-19?
That's why. Why you cannot predict COVID-19?
Yeah. And then you read palm.
2020 is gonna be your year. You're gonna what?
Yeah, read palm got put hand sanitizer?
My favorites are have you seen the face readers?
No, I haven't. What?
Dude, there's some insane. I don't know. Have you guys seen face readers?
Face readers?
There's some face readers. I went to one in Hong Kong where they go like, okay, so your face is a 23 and a 24, and then your nose to your mouth is that long, and you're very prosperous, but you've been in a love triangle. Yeah, it's great. And they just read your entire life from your
A
face.
face reader?
And they talk damn fast. They just talk like, okay, your eyebrow a bit too far apart. So like,
No
and then,
heck!
dude, it's great. Like, and they will predict your whole life from your face.
That's
way more fun than the
mad.
palm, by the way.
That's mad. Maybe we got
You get offended and told your future at the same time.
Maybe we gotta find other body parts to read. Like, I don't know, man.
You're so hairy. Why are you so
reader.
hairy?
Like, why your
Chinese-
eyebrow one side longer, the other side longer? No.
That's why Chinese boy cannot grow beard.
All right, nice. Okay, next one we have for you. Ben just turned 30 last week. Congratulations, by the way.
Damn.
When's your birthday, by the way?
Not telling you.
Okay, not telling me. That's fine.
August 15th.
All right.
Yes.
Slightly after Singapore, so that's nice.
That's
okay,
right.
as you enter a new phase in life, right, and are
Yeah.
about to get married,
Mm-hmm.
have you thought about how you eventually want to be remembered, or is that not important to you?
Yeah, I want to own a company like Titan and have 40 employees and be wildly successful.
Jian Hao Tan, who has been on this show, please.
Own some of Jian Hao's cars.
Oh, that's a good.
Dude, his
goal
cars
to
are
have.
insane. Like what the? And then Naomi Neo just bought a new. She bought a Lambo, did she, or like a
Mhm.
Ballers? I can't. Yeah, just give me an e-scooter, and I'll annoy the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
I like to have a PMD actually. I think that would be quite fun.
Mm.
Yeah. What was your question?
My question would be, how will you eventually want to be remembered?
Ah, damn it! Just like that, drunk on soju and talking shit into a podcast. I think
Honestly, that's not a bad way to go.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, honestly speaking, that is a goal. I mean, like the fact that we get to do this, and create content and talk, and honestly, the fact that I can do this for work is already a dream come true. I think I'd just like to be a good dad, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
I have thankfully I have a great dad, and yeah, I'd just like to keep that going.
That's
Yeah.
a very noble goal. I respect that.
That's right.
That's a
On
very
that
noble
note,
burp, and I respect it too.
right into the mic, to the
Yeah.
pop filter.
And Lester's gonna hear that, and he's gonna be the one editing. So
Sample that shit.
whatever works, man.
Chainsmokers song.
Okay, so I actually created 2 more questions for you, personally, because I was
Nice.
just curious, right? So this first question that I have for you is, what would you describe the real band as in a short sentence? Because people are very familiar.
Ladislav.
This is the real band?
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty close to who I am these days.
Mm.
I don't think that was always the case,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, I don't take myself too seriously. I think, which is
Which is
Again,
a good policy to have, to be
I
honest.
shit on myself anytime if I could.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the real band stays in bed a lot more than he should. Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, what if I were to ask you to describe the real band in 3 words, just as an experiment of self-awareness,
Uptown at Farrah. No, I'm just kidding.
Shit, that's a good plug right
That's
there.
such a good one. What's 3 words? BTO? No. Uptown at Farrah. Shit. Slightly happy millennial. Yeah, I'd say I'm happy for millennial standards.
That's great.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
I am.
You happy?
I
You
am.
happier than me?
I am happier with the emptier my blue cup is.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I don't do blue. Like, I'm not about that life.
Well, I don't watch football, so I'm fine. So I'm safe.
Neither do I, actually. To be honest, I just
Yeah.
wanted to stir shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you follow any sports, or like are you like a sports
I-
person at all?
I mean, I play a very niche sport that not many people in Singapore
Let me guess.
Yes?
You are the lepu.
No.
You are the curling.
No.
You play darts.
No.
You wakeboard.
No. It's on land.
You arm wrestle.
No.
You play racquetball.
No.
Squash. Frisbee.
Yes.
Ah, shit.
I play ultimate.
Oh,
It's been a while.
not just normal frisbee.
Yes, it's the ultimate form of frisbee.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Fun.
Next question that I have for you. Okay.
Yeah.
What's a message that you would want to, if I mean, given in a hypothetical world with superpowers and everything, right? What's
Yeah.
a message that you will want to pass to the band 1 year from now?
The band.
The band Kheng
band.
1 year from now. Future you.
What's up, dude? Yeah, man. I hope 2021 isn't as a shitstorm as 2020. I think I'd hope that he'd be pushing himself more creatively. Yeah, I kind of want to do more things. I guess like not being afraid to like go a bit crazier in terms of like dreaming up like projects and stuff. Just being more bold with that, I would say. Yeah. Also, I hope like all the men in 2021 are not sending dick pics. We just had this conversation just now.
We had this conversation.
We're talking about why men send
Dick
pictures of their penises online.
Honestly, to be honest, I'm just gonna put it out there. The PP is not the nicest picture you can send of your body
Truly, it is the worst.
to someone.
Send your areola instead.
Yeah, it could
Your
work better.
areola with 4 Chinese hairs.
Yeah,
But your penis, it's not an aesthetic thing. I was saying it looks like a fruit. It looks more like a Star Wars monster up close.
it's really wrinkly and
Yeah, exactly.
it's a
And
PP, you know.
yeah, and even in context, it's a bit strange.
Yeah.
No, but it's an interesting topic. We were like, why do men send dick pics, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you think a girl's gonna want to cop it?
Yeah.
We also argue that actually girls don't actually like the guys who send the dick pics don't even like
expect
a reply
Yeah.
because it's just the thrill of exposing themselves. It's predatory behavior. You could
Yeah,
be a low-key
man.
predator if you send a dick pic.
Don't send your PP.
Send him to John right now on his Instagram.
No,
I'm
how
just
about
kidding.
you send Korean heart fingers instead?
Yeah, Korean heart fingers preferably with clothes on.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, clothed Korean heart fingers.
Yeah, if not nobody, just like it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no PP.
Put a glove on. What are you?
and hand sanitizer. No PP, just love.
Yeah.
All right, next question that I have for you before we properly end off.
Go.
Okay, just a few more.
Do
and
it.
this one are questions that we have sourced the internet, but we have never particularly asked anyone. So it's more of the internet.
no.
Internet just give us question, the internet give us some
Internet
question.
asks.
So do you think your parents are proud of where you are in life?
Yeah, I'd say my dad's pretty proud. I think he always wanted to be a singer actually growing up. So it's nice that he got to vicariously live through it with me. He's a great guy. I would say
Does he sing for fun?
he sings, but he sings like
Oh.
that kind of vibe. He's good at that. Yes.
That's quite
Strumming my
niche.
pain with his fingers.
I'm quite sure he'll do well on TikTok, to be honest.
Dude, he'd be a great TikTok dad. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. Just because I'm
2021
not a
band.
fame whore. No, I'm just kidding.
2021 band, you can thank me for planting the seed of the dad singing TikTok.
Yeah.
Nice. I think it's
I would
it's
like to
great
think
to
so.
think that your parents are proud of you.
He's quite a proud guy in general, in that sense.
That's
Yeah.
good.
He's a good fella.
Nice.
My mom
Okay.
too. She's great.
Next question. Okay. Which is a little bit more lighthearted, to be honest. So, what unanswerable question bothers you the most?
Ah, shit. Aliens, man. Like, what are you? Like, faster come or don't come. Like, don't drop in random shit and then make us have to guess. Just count him settle one time. Drop
Yes,
a bomb
yeah.
or like come and say hi or colonizers. I don't know. That really bothers me. Like, you know, you watch those videos of like they zoom out into the solar system or like, you know, the galaxy or the known universe, and you're like, why haven't you visited us yet? Like,
Maybe we're just not loud enough, and then we're just loud on the internet instead of being loud into outer space.
do you think on the spectrum of civilization and
Yes.
and technology,
Yes.
where do you think Earth falls into the spectrum? Do you think we're more advanced than the average universal creature?
I think we are really low, but we're getting there. Because actually, I'm quite curious about this kind of
But if we're low, then
astronomy thing.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, are we
Yeah.
really on the fringes? For
We're
example,
almost there. I feel that we're almost on what we call a type 1.
yeah, for
civilization.
example, like the rest of the known universe and all there, let's say all the rest of the advanced human civilizations are all
Yes.
in, let's say, Orchard area,
Ah.
and Earth is like in Yishun. Is that it? Are we that far out that like no one cares about
I think
us?
we're more like
Not that people don't care
St.
about
John
Yishun.
Islands.
Oh, so we're like a cool Instagram destination.
With a lot of kids.
Then why haven't you visited us yet?
I mean, even in Singapore, it's quite indie. People don't know. They're like, they're cats.
Lazarus Island, who are you? Some sort of Instagram influencer? I mean, I would very much like to know the answer to that for sure. But I do not doubt that there are other species out there that could completely annihilate us.
That'll be so exciting.
To die by alien.
Shit.
I mean, shit.
It's like he died by aliens.
But then no one will ever know that because we all die together.
That's true.
If you think about it, right?
They ought to leave one like person that engraves the graves.
Like I have like repeated dreams about this, like, you know, dying by Earth just falling apart, like catastrophe, right? Like
That's some Hollywood level bullshit.
yeah, but it's not gonna be. You think about it, it's not gonna be like Independence Day where like this big thing comes over,
Right,
or
right.
like, you know, like an asteroid might be likely. But if let's say an alien chooses to like really fuck the Earth up, it's literally you're pouring soju in a cup, and the next moment you're nothing.
Like what?
Yeah, and that's it. That's literally it. Like, how great would that be?
That's the dark ending of the Pokemon movie where Mewtwo gets too powerful.
Okay, geek, calm down. Don't need to flex so hard.
Flexing
Bulbasaur.
my street cred right here. Okay, next question that I have for you.
Yeah, go.
Okay. Do you daydream more about your future or your past?
Oh, damn. Neither. I daydream about random shit. Like, what happened if a pizza was square instead of circle? Or like, in fact,
There'll be more.
thank you though, because I really should think more about my own life than
There'll be
random
more
shit.
pizza per unit box.
Thank you. Or make a circle box. Which doesn't make sense because a box is a square. Then what would you call a circle box? A burkle? Cock?
Cox.
Cox.
Coxes.
Whoa.
That's the plural. Coxes.
But you want to maximize
It should be
the
more
quantity
per
of
unit
pizza per
box.
surface area.
Yeah.
It's just not feasible right now.
Yeah, pizza's what are you doing, man? That's the new
Yeah.
conspiracy theory.
It's like these days when you buy like Lay's or Twisties from 7-Eleven, and literally it's like 1/3 of the packet. Like, what do I buy the rest of it for? Right, like it's just
Where's that? Where's all the weight?
yeah, or like the kopitiam auntie give you the kopi siu tai, but then like the ice is more than the cup.
Yeah.
Then in the end the water is only like this much. You're like,
And this is why we have global warming and no
That's
aliens
right.
wanting to find us because we can't even sort our chips out.
these are the issues. Cancel ice and ISIS.
and the air and the chips.
Yeah, cancel the air and the chips.
Bitch.
More bitch. More pizza for surface area is
Yeah,
what
man.
the takeaway is from this podcast.
Absolutely. I think that'll be world peace.
I think we got it, dude. Like I think that's like we summed it up so well.
Yeah, CC Trump and CC whoever other world
Mothership.
leaders are listening.
And Jameis Lim.
yeah, more
Yeah.
pizza per unit box.
More cockles per bag. It
And no-
warms
and
the
no PP
cockles of
photos.
our hearts.
No PP photos.
And no
Okay,
PP photos.
this is actually quite a good one because you mentioned just now that you want, eventually you want to be a great dad and stuff like that, right? But I believe this exists in all of us. What's the most childish thing you still love to do?
Oh no. I'm very childish. What am I? I'm childish. Okay. I still drink a lot of milk. Like I'm a little baby. Like I drink a lot of milk. Like-
Milk is good for you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm lactose intolerant now.
Oh shit.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's the shits. So I gotta I wouldn't drink milk here because, you've got your own toilet. I don't wanna,
you
go
don't want to blow ass.
Yeah, especially nice to meet you. I'm just gonna destroy your bathroom with my offspring. My shitty offspring.
Yeah.
It's a price I pay, man. Cheese, lactose.
But
love
cheese
that
though.
shit. It's hard to, yeah.
If
What
I
else?
were lactose intolerant, my downfall will definitely be cheese because
Dude, cheese would be the end of me. Okay, but it's not that bad. I will say it's gotten worse as I've grown older, but like it's not to the point where like I'll have like a slice and then I will explode in diarrhea. It's not that bad. Yeah,
Nice.
not that nice, but yeah.
I mean, nice answer.
Thank you.
Not nice experience necessarily, but you know, very good. Okay, let's move on to our final question, and then we will outro your pink cup,
Oh, dude.
the
Yeah.
red cup. Did I just say pink cup? You know, I'm getting there too. Okay, this is quite a good one because I want you to elaborate a little on this.
Okay.
Do you believe in destiny?
Hell yeah. I mean, I think I'm fairly spiritual.
Mm-hmm,
You know,
yeah, I was about to bring that up. You know,
yeah. Like I wouldn't say like I'm. Ooh, the tummy just went. Maybe it's time.
it's like a full loop.
I would say that I've had, as I pull down my pants, my fair share of issues with like the church and you know growing up. As
Don't mind me if I ask you, like, what's your denomination?
I'm Chinese. Sorry, just kidding. I grew up in a Baptist church,
Okay,
and then I kind of moved into like charismatic-y stuff.
that's
Now
where the
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
right,
no, no.
yeah.
That's the. Yeah, we just want to like just reach out to people and love God, that kind of stuff.
I know,
like,
yeah.
Everyone's suddenly Australian.
More high fives than
Yeah, more high fives
Then-
and hugs. But
then-
it's a great vibe. I'd say
Right.
that like it's a great community. Now okay, so like I kind of took a step back from religion for a bit. Because there were a lot of things in the Bible that I just couldn't agree with fundamentally. you
Right.
know.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I just had to redefine because I have had experiences with what I would believe is God.
Yeah.
Because I was calling out for him and
And he responded in
yeah,
some way,
it's like,
right?
what's up, dude? like, but so I actually have seen pretty crazy shit go down before.
Right.
Both inside the church construct and outside.
Right.
Like legit miracles.
Really? What's
So like I've seen this dude beside me get healed from color blindness, like on the spot. Like he had never seen red
certain
before.
colors, right? Yeah.
And after being prayed upon, like he was like, yeah, he started screaming and like because the pulpit was red, and he was like, oh my god, like it's red. I haven't never seen it before.
It's crazy.
A few other experiences that sometimes I kind of doubt. I'll be like, okay, like there's a lot of stuff I don't understand, like the whole like fall down, all that stuff, and then again, there's a lot of things in organized religion that make me uncomfortable too.
Right.
Like how it's more of a business right now. But then for me, I had to really pick apart what I understood was God and the construct of religion, which I felt was a
Yes.
very man-made construct.
Yeah.
So I had to really read up on apologetics and as well a bit of like Richard Dawkins and just redefining what God meant to me. And I think for me now, I'm okay with not knowing the full answer.
Right. Right.
I'm okay with knowing that there is a God, or for me, like it's not really agnostic, but I do have a personal relationship.
Yes.
And I do believe in destiny. I believe in purpose.
Right. Right. Right.
I believe in all that stuff as well. Yes, I just like I'm okay with not knowing the full answer. So if you ask me honestly, like like I do believe in a higher power. That's for sure. Yeah, I would say that.
So would that make you more agnostic than Christian?
No, I mean I would say I am Christian, but I also have amazing conversations with people of the Abrahamic faiths as well, like like Islam and Judaism. But more than that, just like learning from other people's spiritual journeys. I really do believe that if there is a creator, like a divine intelligence or a God, he doesn't abide by one religion, but he can permeate through like almost any situation.
Right.
I
Right.
think that's really true.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
To be
like he won't be
honest.
bound by just church walls, but
Yeah.
if he wanted to reach you while you were meditating in the Mediterranean, or you were doing a Reiki thing, or
Yeah.
Alpha or a Ouija board, like God will still reach you through that because he's just that good. Like he designed everything, So I choose to obviously lean into that narrative. Yeah.
This is something that I personally believe in as well.
Yeah?
Because I'm a Catholic, right?
Oh, cool.
But for me, I feel that like sometimes the definition and the confines within the church are not necessarily things that I agree with. But like I still see my God, I still recognize my God.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why like sometimes I find myself saying that I'm not a very religious or very staunch Catholic. But it does not matter to me.
What's the phrase?
because-
I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. That's what people always say. But no, but it is really true. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, like in conversations with other friends of mine who who I guess are in the industry who are also, God believers but might not identify very strongly with the church.
Yes.
Like we always have this phrase where it's like, God is such a great, or like, religion or spirituality is such a great product.
Yeah.
It's just got a really shitty PR team.
Yeah.
Like the PR for like, it's just bad.
In
Like,
fact, this is what I tell my friends. A lot of times when they're conflicted about their community at church, I tell them, say that, like, for example, you don't necessarily require the church to experience your God.
yeah,
And I think that's something that a lot of people cannot necessarily immediately come to terms with, because they reach God through the church. And
Yeah.
it becomes problematic when suddenly the church is not like friendly or
Yeah.
nurturing in that sense.
what would Gandhi say? Like, I love your God, I love your Christ, I hate your Christians. Yeah. But a great analogy that I've actually learned that I think is worth sharing, if you don't mind me just like going on a tangent.
No, go ahead, man.
Because I struggle so much with the existence of God, right? Like, how do I, like, if a God is so real, why hasn't he revealed himself to us in a more tangible way and go like, yo, I'm God, like,
Yes.
get in line. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Why is there famine? Why is there poverty? Why is there death and all this kind of stuff? When God should be benevolent, right?
Yeah.
Like, why is he such a hateful, vengeful God?
Yeah.
But also we learn a very loving and caring God.
Mhm.
And if it really truly someone created all of existence,
Mhm.
then why are we, putting him in boxes and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
And why doesn't God reveal himself,
Mhm.
And it's also the struggle I had when I was trying to wrestle with the idea of like why God would discriminate against certain kinds of people,
Yes.
the Bible at least, right?
Yes.
In a modern construct. I chanced upon this video where like this, I don't know if it's a pastor, it's more like he's a spiritual guy for sure.
Right.
But he was drawing the illusion of what we understand as God. So God, right? Let's say from a scientific point of view, if he is the design intelligence
Mhm.
of the universe,
Yes.
right? That means he exists in all dimensions. He's omnipotent and is omniscient, which means
Yeah.
that he doesn't exist but in a linear fashion from beginning to
Yeah.
end. He doesn't exist within what we understand is 3 dimensions of
Yes.
space and time.
He exists.
He exists.
Yeah.
And science also looks into like the multidimensional universe,
Yeah.
right? Universe is not bound by linear fashion of time, start and end. It's not bound by space and time itself, but of different tiers.
Yes.
God exists in all those things. So he had this illustration, for example, like this is almost like a whiteboard, right?
Yeah.
So he had a whiteboard there,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Okay, God exists in more dimensions than us. So let's just, for illustrative purposes, draw 2 stick figures.
Yeah.
So let's say this is Ben, this is John. On
This
the
is
board.
Ben.
Okay, it's not a good example because we need to be 2D, right? So,
Right.
for example, like he
This
drew,
is Ben.
yeah,
And this is John.
correct. So let's say Ben and John exist in a 2D reality right now.
Right.
All we've ever known, right, is X and Y axis.
Right, it's
We've
left and
never
right, right?
understood
Yeah.
depth, right? Because the experience of depth. Can you imagine if the world was 2D compared to 3D? Like
Yeah.
it completely, like exaggerates and like it's way bigger, right? So let's say all of the experience of life is held in 2D universe. God in this existence, in this demonstration, exists in a 3-dimensional universe, right? So say God exists right here, right? And
Yeah.
God is like, okay, Ben and John exist in this 2D world. I want to show Ben and John something. So he's going to take this bottle, which is something that's 3-dimensional, right? He's going to go, I want to reveal to Ben and John the nature of the bottle. So he's going to pass his bottle through the membrane of a 2-dimensional universe. But what do we see when it goes through?
It's a 2-dimensional.
We see a circle that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it disappears. And then we go, oh, circle God, it's a sign. We freak out because we think that's what God is. Well, we think that's what spirituality or ghosts or other dimensional stuff is. But we don't know it looks like this. We don't know the full reality of the nature of God or his universe, right? And the guy brought it back to the fact that we're not supposed to understand God.
Right.
The Bible does say like we're not supposed to understand God in its complexity. We're supposed to rest in the mystery of who he is. And when I saw that, I just like broke down because I was like, that's it. That's my whole existence. It's like not to die trying to figure out what God is and whether he thinks it's right or wrong, but it's just to like love God, love people.
And I think it's important to accept that there are certain things with God that you will never be able to fully understand.
Yeah, and people want to make definitions and they want to theorize and whatever. I'm not there to stop them. It's just not for me. And I guess for you as well. I think like the whole idea is just to rest easy knowing that like he exists. And there are things beyond our comprehension that we cannot control nor understand. And that's beautiful to think about. Yeah. So that brought me a lot of peace, knowing that like I'm such a simpleton in my little 3-dimensional world. but yet like I can feel a spirituality and a connection. And
Yeah.
that was really important for me.
Yeah, but it was how I came to terms with my religion as well. You know,
Yeah.
with being religious and whatnot in general.
Yeah. I mean, people will shit on you sometimes, but I mean, for me, it's like, that's fine.
Mm.
I mean, you're willing to, I mean, I'm willing to accept your point of view, but like for me, this was my experience.
Nice. Very good. And
Yeah.
that brings us to the end of today's session.
Some heavy shit.
Do you
guys.
feel that you have discovered more about yourself?
Yeah, this is a free therapy session. Wow.
But was I a good therapist?
You're great. Just don't send dick pics. Ever.
Yeah, I know. Only
Yeah.
send this.
Only Korean
Kokoro,
hearts.
Kokoro.
Guys, stop taking close-ups of your appendage.
All right, very good. So before we end off this episode, Ben, do you have anything that you want, the final words you want to share with our audience, or anything that you're up to that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, here are 10 types of podcasts that you can catch. Sorry. HTHT, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think what you guys are doing is great. Keep going.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for being here with us. So thank you so much once again for joining us for HTHT. We have Ben Kheng, so thank you for joining us. And who would you like to see us bring in next? I mean, we have brought in a whole bunch of people, and I think they've been great. And I mean, we're all stuck at home, either working from home, studying from home, or partially doing both, right? Then might as well just tune in and watch and get to know people like him better.
That's right. Let us know in the comments below. All that stuff. Smash the like button. Is that what YouTubers say? I feel like that's what
I
they
have
say.
no idea, but he said it for me, so.
You guys do it on TSL as well. I don't think I
Yeah,
don't
do
know
what? On TSL, it would be like, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and watch our other videos over there. Would you like to try that?
No.
But
Just watch
you know
TikToks.
what I'm tempted to do right now? Let's have a secret handshake.
Oh shit. Are we doing this?
Yeah, we're doing this. So I have one with one of our videographers.
Let's
and
not
I
fight it.
think-
Let's just go. Ready?
So, shit.
we just reviewed our age so hard right there.
Chemistry, about chemistry.
Yeah, we even finished each other's soju.
Yeah. Just that.
Cheers, bro!
What? Bye, guys.
Ciao.